One of our most exciting components of our digital marketing agency is our ability to design and develop just incredible user experiences and websites specifically designed to generate leads. And primarily, we are operating in the financial services and the legal spaces, but we've developed these designs and these user experiences that deliver and generate a consistent and ongoing flow of internet leads to your sales force in a variety of different industries and verticals. And today I want to walk you through our capabilities as Kaleidico's design and development team, and specifically give you some examples of how we've actually been able to execute for our clients for our 15 plus years of existence. So in this presentation, I just want to quickly familiarize you with Kaleidico, our team, our capabilities, and then give you some insight into what it is to work with us as a design and development team, how that process lays out, what you can expect from us, how that collaboration, we're a very collaborative a group, and we want to work deeply with your business operations and make sure that we have perfect alignment with not only the expectations, but the outcomes that you're looking for us to deliver with that website. Because we're not just designing a beautiful website. In fact, we have a mantra here at Kaleidico where we say it's not beautiful unless it works beautifully. And so that's what we seek to deliver every single time that we're designing and developing a website, is deliver a website that not only looks beautiful, but it's going to deliver those beautiful results. Ultimately, we'll talk through some of the case studies so you can get some very specific examples of how we've done this for clients and how that's given success to their business operations and objectives. Give you very specifically the client references. In fact, here on the website, you can go ahead and click and download this, and you can reach out to those client references and ask about what it is to work with Kaleidico and the successes that we've brought to their organizations. And then we love to be transparent in what it takes to invest in a website redesign and potentially an ongoing lead generation program. So we're very transparent with our pricing and open and consistent with that pricing. So at the end of this presentation, we'll go ahead and reveal that. And then hopefully all of this will be interesting and compelling. You'll see a fit with our organizations. You'll reach out to us, schedule a discovery session, and then we'll walk through, again, the strategy and the execution you're looking for. We'll see if there's a fit, and hopefully we'll start to work together. So first and foremost, we've been doing this for a long time as a digital agency and as a design and development team for over 15 years. Anybody that knows about the agency business knows that that's a pretty long period of time for an agency to operate. Probably the average digital agency only lasts 2 or 3 years. So we've got a deep heritage inside of doing design and development on an internet that over the last 15 years has changed quite a bit. In fact, when we first started Kaleidico, Google was a brand new thing. There was no Facebook. And so we've also been through several different cycles and ways to go about creating websites and user experiences to generate internet leads, to generate audiences. So there's a lot of value to that, just knowing how to go through these different cycles, knowing how to move and innovate as the technology innovates on that online experiences. Today we're designing websites. In the future, we may be, generating and designing conversational UIs and interacting via voice and videos. And so we've already brought some of those experiences to the table for some of our clients. So again, that's all to say that this is an organization full of highly talented people that are able to continue to innovate and lean forward with these web technologies. Like I said, founded in 2005, we've been around for 15 years. We've been through all kinds of different cycles and changes as it pertains to the web and the technologies that we use and the development languages that we use, the platforms that we use, and also, of course, the design approaches and tools that we use have all changed through the years. But again, our sort of legacy talks a lot to just how innovative and forward-leaning we've been able to be. Our process, again, like I've already sort of preambled a little bit, our jam, our excitement is around building those user experiences and taking those experiences helping to drive and lead and guide your customers into an engagement with you, hopefully into inquiring about your products and services, and ultimately generating a sales lead for your organization to generate revenue for your business. That's our ultimate goal with these web experiences. We're very collaborative partners. We'd like to get in there with you for most of the verticals that we serve, primarily financial services and legal, even though you're going to see some additional examples beyond those two spaces. We've been in those spaces. We've been in and around those business operations, and there's a good chance that we have a deep understanding of your business as well as our expertise in creating these web experiences. So that works alongside to give you a lot of value. You don't have to do a lot of hand-holding. You don't have to do a lot of education. But again, we're going to be collaborative. We're going to dig in there with you. And even if we don't have the deep experience with your particular business or operations, we're going to get there with you because we like to collaborate. We like to be directly connected to those business objectives, directly connected ultimately to revenue, which again makes us very unique as an agency. We're not just consumed by the creative. We want to get in there and take our creative to a level that would generate revenue for you. This discovery phase is a big portion of that. You can, again, like I said, on this page, you can go ahead and schedule that initial discovery session. And even though we're trying to assess fit in that discovery session, you're going to get a real understanding and live experience in what it is to work with us, what it is to talk with us about strategy, to see our passion in digging into your process. But this is a key component. In a web design and development project, we'll have a discovery up front, but depending on how you want to work with us, either in just sort of a waterfall model and move through our entire process in a more linear fashion, we'll do a series of check-ins and discoveries along the way at different points, wireframes, design reviews, and then the actual user acceptance. Or if you want to work with us in our sprint model, where we'll actually move through 3 or 4 different iterations into coming to the final vision, but we'll be executing a full sort of agile deliverable within the first 4 weeks. And so again, those discovery phases will be intermittent throughout the project. Discovery typically looks like this. We're digging in with stakeholders. We want to talk to the people that are going to not only be working the leads that are generated from the website, but the people that are administering it, the people that are building content around it. So whoever is going to interact with this website, everywhere from using the end result of the website all the way to the person who's having to maintain it. Maybe it's your IT department, even maintaining the environment and those sorts of things. We're going to talk to all those stakeholders. We're going to review and audit what you've already got. As most businesses at this day and age, we're increasingly not necessarily building brand new websites, except for maybe some of our startups that we work with. But generally, we're redesigning. We're leveraging something that's there. We're auditing and reviewing what's working, what's not working, where the frustrations have been, maybe where the successes have been, and what we want to bring into the new design. We're studying the analytics themselves, the back end, Google Analytics, to again help you in figuring out what's working and what's not working. We'll compare, do some competitive analysis, compare other organizations, potentially even compare outside of your industry. To bring a little bit of innovation to that new redesign, and then ultimately we'll document that collaboration and start to build out our creative brief. And that creative brief becomes the playbook for the rest of the project as we move through it, because we always want to have a source of truth where we're going back, we're reminding ourselves of what we're trying to achieve with this redesign. And we'll continue, that creative brief is a living document. So from time to time, as we move through different phases of the process, mood boards, wireframes, and those sorts of things, we may discover some new things that will change our perspective and some of that documentation. And so that's what the purpose of that creative brief. It's a very strategic sort of look, and we take web design and development to a strategic level. We want to think about what we're trying to achieve, the types of behaviors that we're trying to encourage and guide our customers into. And so there is a lot of strategy that goes inside of the design. It's not just coloring, in that design, in our sketch file or in our design tool, we're actually trying to work in that design tool to create an outcome. So there, again, is a lot of strategy inside of that design. The strategy and design process itself is actually going to work through a series of steps from sitemap to mood board. You can think about this as really kind of like an architectural experience. If you've ever built a house or been a part of building or remodeling a house, you know that we're sitting down with those mood boards, with those schematics, and trying to kind of build out the blueprint. And that's a lot of what that first phase is. The wireframes are akin to that blueprint that we're going to actually work from there. And then we're actually going to go into design mockups. We're going to build out everything that we're going to ultimately develop. We're going to look at it as a design, and we're going to interact with it much like a user might interact. And we're going to really vet that design before we go into functional specifications. We'll start to document things, and then ultimately that will lead us into the development process. And by the time we get to the development phase, we've really, like I said, vetted and moved through and explored a lot of things. So the development phase is very efficient. Unlike a lot of experiences that you might have had with development in the past, by the time we get to this point, most, if not all of the problems have been solved, and our developers are now just bringing it to life. And so, again, we have a nice, tight design around the user experience we're trying to develop. It's well documented, and the developers are now taking that blueprint and just putting the house up. Quality control is a huge part of what we do. So once we've actually done that development process, we're going to work not only with our internal team to move through and quality control everything that we've done, make sure that it's consistent with the design specs and the functional specs that we've created, but we're also going to work with you as a team to go through user acceptance and some training to make sure you know how to use your new platform, whether it's your marketing team, maybe your internal IT team, or in a lot of cases, we're actually moving right into a lead generation engagement with you, and we're actually the users of that platform, but we still make sure that we engage with you as a business unit to make sure that you understand how that platform is being used in that lead generation engagement. This is what our sort of 4-month waterfall approach looks like. You can see us moving through each of those phases over this 16-week period. We've also innovated our own approach. So some of our folks, particularly our mortgage lenders, who are trying to quickly transition from a traditional branch model to a consumer direct model. A lot of our law firms who have been traditionally working with clients inside of their firms and their offices are now again having to move consumer direct and have to interact in a virtual way and acquire their clients through the internet. There's a lot of businesses in transition that are having to move from more in-person interactions, sales processes, even marketing processes, to almost 100% internet generated interactions and interfaces. And so as a result of that transition, largely brought on by COVID-19 and the pandemic, lockdowns and those sorts of things, we've innovated our own process so that we can quickly bring your organization through that transition process. So we can break this 4-month process down into a series of 3 to 4 sprints. And so we're actually doing a mini version of this entire process inside a condensed sprint. And those sprints are usually anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. We're doing all of this. So within 4 to 6 weeks, we can have the first iteration of this new website and redesign out into the marketplace and working for you immediately, returning and a return on your investment or an ROI much faster. So that is an option. We have the sprint option. Doesn't cost any different. It's just a different way for us to work. It requires you to be just a little bit more engaged and focused during those sprint periods. But again, gives you 2 different ways to work with us to get that redesign deployed. And again, you get to choose how you'd like to work with us in those 2 different models. This is the team that you would be working with. Of course, I'm always engaged. I'm the founder of Kaleidico. I'm heavily involved in the strategy, particularly when we're trying to figure out how to design a website to generate leads. That's my expertise. And so I'm engaged on each and every one of these design and development projects. You'll be also connected with one of our account managers. You'll either be working with Samantha or Mika to make sure that we're moving through that process in an orderly fashion. And then as you move into, hopefully, if you transition into a lead generation, ongoing retainer engagement with us, you'll continue to work with that account manager and continue to build out your marketing programs, leveraging that web platform that we've built. You will also be working with these individuals as leads on that. So for each and every website, of course, there's design involved. Nate's the lead of that. He's our creative director, has a ton of UX and UI experience. And so he is the person that you want leading your design team if you want your users to really engage with that. So it's again, we're not just building a brochure site, we're building an engaging, compelling, interactive design approach. And Nate is the best at that that you're going to find. Angelo is our development lead, so he's leading the development team. Once we have that blueprint, he's efficiently executing that vision and bringing it to life and bringing it online. And then again, if you continue to engage with us after that redesign, he's the lead of the team that will maintain that infrastructure, make sure it's secure and up and running at the highest performance level, which is super important as you start to generate leads and you're worried about SEO performance and Google's opinion of that platform. So he'll make sure that that's running at its highest level of performance. Kelly helps me on the business development side as well as client success, pulls all the way through that. So if you schedule a discovery session, Kelly will be alongside of me. We'll be talking strategy. We'll be working through your business objectives and figuring out whether or not there's a fit with us and you in doing that redesign and potentially a lead generation program. And then ultimately, once we start the engagement, she's going to be monitoring for success. So she's constantly going to be checking in with you, making sure that that project is happening as you expect it and on time and delivered with excellence. That's sort of her end-to-end role there. Asia is working on our content strategy and content side. Every single one of our web projects comes with copywriting and content as a primary focus. Because the words do matter and the way that content is laid out and the way the sitemap is laid out, the way the SEO infrastructure is built out and conceived of is highly important in making that website immediately deliver an impact. And so Asia is the lead on that team and making that happen. We'll go through, again, our primary verticals to give you some specific recent case studies, and then I'll show you some of those that are outside of those more traditional focus verticals for us, getting just to show you the breadth of experience and the innovation that we can kind of bring to any type of design and development project. Our mortgage lenders, so Homefinity, again, this is one of those mortgage operations that needed to quickly transition from traditional branch to consumer direct. And we were able to build just an incredibly beautiful website that gave instant results upon launch. And you can see from this graph, as soon as we launched it, we immediately propelled them to a whole different level of lead generation, traffic generation. And so this is one of those scenarios where not only did we do the redesign, but then we quickly moved right into an ongoing lead generation program and a retainer type relationship. And we continue to work on this site and give results. River City Mortgage, again, similar model. They have multiple geographic branches. They still wanted to deliver that community feel into each of those branches, but they wanted to move the whole operation into consumer direct and deliver that community feel, even though they were going direct to consumer via the internet. And so we were able to deliver a slightly different experience to them. Again, built the website as well as continue to deliver on their lead generation needs with a more comprehensive month-to-month lead generation program that we built for them. Marquis Funding Group, this is slightly different from the mortgage industry. It's a different spot in the mortgage market. These are private money lenders, or sometimes referred to as hard money lenders. They have the combination of investors. They can lend to business purposes as well as owner-occupied. Again, this is an industry and an ecosystem that is generally heavily sales and relationship driven, but needed to, because of everything that's happening in the world needed to move to a consumer direct model very quickly. They have the additional component into their ecosystem of also needing to attract investors because they're lending private money, unlike a lot of traditional lenders. And so as a result, they kind of have this whole ecosystem that they need to attract. And we were able to redesign the website and again, move into a lead generation, ongoing monthly retainer relationship where we're continuing to generate leads for this organization in a slightly different and more interesting part of the mortgage marketplace. Trusted by a whole series of kind of household name brands related to the lending. Again, deep heritage in here from our very inception. In 2005, we've been working with mortgage lenders. So a lot of depth here, and we worked with a lot of great organizations over the years. Law firms is another one of our primary verticals and industries that we serve. And we do a variety of different sort of law firm scenarios. This is one where we actually built a new law brand. And so this is a law firm that was operating under a different brand, as law firms often do. They reorganize, partners change, and that sort of thing. And sometimes there's a need for a whole brand refresh. So we did a brand refresh, we did a redesign, and then we continue to manage their ongoing lead generation operation. This is both on the corporate side as well as personal injury. And so we also did and built out a whole medical malpractice area. So one of the interesting things we can do too, as these start to, as law firms often do, their practice areas emerge and get added on to. And so this is one of those where we're able to add practice areas as the law firm continues to grow. HPPRD, this was interesting. This was a combination of a brand engagement as well as a website redesign. We went in for a website redesign, a very sort of large and diverse law firm that had a lot of different practice areas and a lot of different attorneys, and they needed more visibility on that excellence in their base of attorneys and the practices that they bring to the Chicago market. And so we helped them with that. And as a part of that, as we kind of went down that path, and this is something that happens sometimes, as we went through that mood board process, we went through the wireframe process, we realized that the brand was not supporting the level of excellence that the website and what the partners wanted to deliver out into that market. So we also then stepped back and did a brand refresh for them as well. So this is a combination of a brand strategy, brand refresh, and a redesign itself. Another high-profile personal injury attorney in Chicago, again, needed a redesign, and so we helped them position themselves in a much higher level than they had been operating with their website design previous to this. So again, a lot of times with law firms, the website itself, the web presence, because of the type of businesses that they've been in the past and the basis of relationships, oftentimes the website has lagged behind, or the website experience has been captured and controlled by something like Scorpion, where they're actually paying for a platform, but they don't really own the content, they don't own the brand, they don't own their own web platform. And so that's another sort of use case that we run into with law firms, is just taking back and capturing their web assets so that they actually own it and control it, and continue to grow that as an asset within the organization. Again, much like our lenders, we worked with a lot of different household names. We worked both in the US and Canada. Learners is a very high profile personal injury law firm. Again, large, diverse, a lot of practice areas as it pertains to personal injury. So again, a lot of depth and experience in helping law firms. Other recent case studies that are kind of interesting and innovative that we've worked on, Detroit College Match is interesting in that we built a completely custom platform and application that allows us to pull in secondary college information and data, and then marry that with students' inputs to help a student in high school figure out and match with colleges where they're most likely to have success at. And so this is, again, one of those projects where we built a completely custom application. We had to integrate and move in some data from external APIs. And then we had to use a set of algorithms to help do that match. So there's a lot of complexity to this. But if you were to go to the DetroitCollegeMatch.com and use this, you'll see how incredibly simplistic the user experience is, and all that complexity is hid behind the experience and just delivers a really easy, valuable experience to the students. Citizens Research Council of Michigan was an interesting development and redesign project that was very content intense. And so this is a 100-year organization. They had 100 years worth of content that they wanted to expose to the web, make it easy to research for journalists and policy makers to actually dive into that 100 years worth of research and material and be able to quickly and efficiently work with that. And so we were able to bring that to the web. Deca Health, you'll see some patterns that persist in some of the clients that we take. Deca is a health system specifically around pain management, but much like our lenders and our law firms, they had different geographic locations around the country, and we were able to give them community-focused, local-focused website presence and be able to do those and spin those up very easily and efficiently for each of those different pain management systems. We also were able to bring some innovative user experiences to the web. So again, they're dealing with pain management. A lot of times someone that is having pain doesn't exactly know what it is or where or the types of treatments and possibilities that there are. And so you can see from this, we actually took a very visual type of navigation for the website. So you can just literally click on the anatomy, and that becomes the navigation to tell you all the possibilities with their particular treatments and services. Pixo Apex. This is, you can think of Netflix for VR. This is one of our emerging tech firms and companies that we were able to bring to the web and to create a lead generation experience for them. VR training is where we started with them, doing a full lead generation, bringing in training scenarios, and training organizations that wanted to use VR for the first time, or maybe to make their training more realistic and engaging. And so we were able to create a web experience and a lead generation experience to bring those training organizations in. And then later, we were able, as they started to offer more and to create more of this content sort of experience and delivery platform, we were able to, again, one of our expertise is helping organizations in transition innovate and do something different with their website and the lead generation and the leads that they're bringing in. So this is an example of that. Census is another one of our emerging tech. This is an internet security play operating in a different space, an emerging space of attack surface discovery and management. Again, a new concept. It's a solution to a problem that's often being sort of serviced in an inefficient way or with the wrong set of tools. And so we're generating leads and developing a website that's bringing an audience to them that's discovering this solution or discovering the solutions that maybe they weren't aware that they needed. Nutshell, this is a CRM, SaaS CRM startup and solution. And in this particular case, we're focused just on their blog. They use SEO and content to generate the majority of their business, and they needed a more engaging user experience for the blog portion of that. And so we were able to go in very tactically and enhance that experience to continue to grow them as an organization and as a SaaS platform. We also have, again, this is a like pattern where we had a community, 242 Community Church is actually a very large megachurch, one of the fastest growing churches in America, and they had multiple campus locations. and we were able to give experiences for each of those community locations. But one of the things that's interesting about this is one of the many businesses that were affected by COVID-19, and where church experiences are often in-person experiences at a campus within a community. We had to help them transition almost overnight on the website to deliver a virtual and a live stream experience to their communities, and really actually help them to grow and increase their reach to nationwide and even internationally by being able to use their web platform to deliver a live stream and a virtual experience. Image Plastic Surgery, this is one of our white label clients. We're actually working with another agency. We're contributing our content studio and SEO expertise into each and every one of their clients. And in this particular case, going into a local plastic surgeon and being able to use that SEO and content expertise to help them increase their visibility in a highly competitive industry and marketplace, as well as a competitive local, a large city. And so again, using just one component of our lead generation tactics and skill set to help and enhance other agencies that are working in the digital space. Client references, of course, you can download these here on the web, and you can look at these and reach out to these different client references. All happy to talk to you about their successes and experiences in working with Kaleidico. Project investment, we're always clear, consistent, and transparent with our pricing because we are delivering a consistent set of solutions. Our pricing is consistent as well. So for our website redesign, which is primarily what we've been talking through this presentation, those start at $30,000. Most of our website redesigns are $30,000, where you're choosing the sprint approach or you're choosing the more traditional 4-month waterfall approach. Still that $30,000 price point. Only if you are to get into some pretty sort of leading edge innovation or custom experiences will you go above that $30,000. But we can deliver pretty much any sort of lead generation execution that you need for that price for a new website. And then again, that applies to both the sprint model. So if you want to get up and running in the next 4 to 6 weeks, we can implement via the sprint approach or that 4-month sort of more concerted effort that we would move through the different cycles in sequence and develop a sort of more holistic one-time experience and deliverable. So either one of those pricing is the same. If you are to elect, as most of our clients are, to go and have us then help you take that web platform and generate leads with it and build a lead generation platform and marketing experience around that, those start at $5,000 a month for that ongoing retainer. And we do everything for digital marketing. That program includes SEO, content, Google Ads or PPC management, as well as email marketing. And so we're able to give a complete lead management program. We don't like to do the one-off tactical. A lot of times it's harder to get success that way. But for a very efficient return on investment, most of the organizations we work with get that $5,000 investment back right off the bat. And so we're generating enough leads every single month to give a positive and usually exponential return on that investment each and every month. If you want a more comprehensive experience and lead generation program, in essence, outsourcing your entire digital marketing operation, we can do that with the lead generation program plus. And this is $10,000 a month. What gets added to that is we introduce social media management, both organic and paid, as well as ongoing development and design optimization on the website, adding landing pages, adding different types of more intricate experiences every single month, and continue to iterate on that website. Generally, you should be doing that. A website is a living and breathing thing, and really, you're never done with a website if you're continuing to engage in the marketplace. We can also lean into your sales operation. We're going to ultimately be generating leads. Internet leads are always slightly different than what you're experiencing from your sales force generating their own referrals and that sort of thing. And so a lot of times this program is great for an organization that's not used to working with internet leads and building out the marketing and sales automation that really gets you an increasing return on that investment each and every month. The nice thing about both of these programs is you're ultimately building a database of leads that will continue to grow, and with these programs will continue to become more and more efficient and generate more and more leads each and every month within the same monthly investment. So $5,000 investment today may generate you 2x. Over the next 6 months to a year, it's going to return you 10x or larger. We always love for you to reach out to us and ask questions. These, myself, Bill Rice, and Kelly are your true primary contacts as we start to sort of discovery session process, work with your organization, understand your needs, determine if there's a fit. And we're also more than open to just answer one-off questions. So if you have some questions about what a redesign might mean for your organization or what lead generation might look like as it's delivered through the internet, reach out and ask us those one-off questions. We would love for you to reach out and schedule a discovery session. It's a 30-minute session. We dig in deep into your business, understand your operations. We'll quickly get into strategy, and I can guarantee you that in that 30 minutes, you're going to walk away, even if you don't engage with us, with at least one actionable strategy or idea that's going to generate more leads for you this month. So encourage you to hit that schedule a discovery button on the website and go ahead and at least take advantage of that 30-minute strategy and discovery session. Hope to talk to you soon.